Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for a special edition podcast. My name is Jackie Ochoa. I'll be your host today. I am Jotform's PR manager and former journalist, joining you from San Francisco, California today. We are in here, of course, in celebration of Jotform founder and CEO Aytekin Tonk's newest book release, Automate Your Busywork. We've gathered together a fantastic panel of experts for you today to weigh in and talk about the future of automation. We will dive into best practices for getting rid of busywork, and of course, talk about Aytekin's new book. But to kick things off, I want to introduce our panel of experts today. Today on the podcast, we have Jotform's own founder and CEO and author of Automate Your Busywork, Aytekin Tonk. We'll dig into this more, of course, during our conversation, but Aytekin's new book is really his recipe for success, how he used automation to differentiate Jotform in the market against Google Forms, and how he used automation for core business functions within Jotform and within his own personal workflow as well. Also joining us on the panel today is Amir Saleh-Efendic, the founder and CEO of Doist. Of course, Doist is all about enabling the workforce of the future. They themselves are a remote-first company with employees in more than 35 countries. And of course, you know Doist as the creators of Todoist, a productivity app that helps people keep their work and life organized, as well as Twist, a workplace communication tool that's focused on async collaboration. And then rounding our panel today is Wade Foster, the co-founder and CEO of Zapier, a leading automation tool that over 2.2 million businesses use, including companies like Meta, Asana, and Dropbox. Zapier is all about automation and productivity. So we're going to have fun on this podcast today. To our panel of founders, welcome on the podcast. How is everyone doing? How's the week go so far?
Doing good. Excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's a really exciting week for me because today my book just came out and I've been working on this book for more than a year. So I'm really thrilled about this. I'm also really excited about this conversation with Wade and Amir. So it's great.
Yeah, and I'm also really excited. And, there's also a lot of change happening in the world, especially in terms of AI, which is, both stressful and exciting at the same time. Yeah.
Definitely. And we will certainly be getting into that conversation today, talking about AI and automation. A lot of changes, as you mentioned, Amir. But I think we'll get through it all today. Again, we are so excited to have you guys on the podcast today, especially in celebration of Aytekin's new book. But before we do jump into the book, I'd love to start it off with a very general, kind of broad question. I'd love to hear from each of you how you think about automation and productivity, both at work and in your personal lives as well. Again, no, it's kind of a broad question. Make it what you want. Take it as you'd like. Amir, let's start with you. How do you think about automation and productivity?
That's a great question, and honestly, I think we are still kind of there's so much busy work that we're doing each day, and especially on an organizational level. I think our societies and companies and everybody, individuals as well, could be much more productive. We kind of remove some of the grunt work that people use and do. And, that's kind of where we are kind of trying to focus on the company level, is kind of how do we actually really create, tools and processes that are much, more productive and efficient than the current one that we use. And what we see right now in the market is basically everybody is just doing grunt work. And it's very inefficient. If you look at productivity growth as well in knowledge societies, it's actually very low, even as we have added a lot more technology. And I think that's something that we need to reflect on. You would actually expect as you become more advanced technology, that actually productivity will go up. But that is not really what we have seen. I think there are many different aspects of it, but definitely automation and removal of busy work is the way to go. So that is how I see this. Yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of us would agree with you on that one. Eliminating busy work. I think that's Aytekin's, catchphrase. Wade, how do you think about automation and productivity?
So for me, automation, productivity, they really start with the important questions, which is really truly understanding what's important in your life. I think too often we get stuck in this hamster wheel where we're doing a bunch of grunt work, we're doing a bunch of tasks, we're trying to check as many things off, but we don't have like a really strong grip on what's important to us. And so this starts with understanding, what's important. Is it family? Is it work? Is it health? Is it friends? Is it hobbies? What are the big buckets in your life that you really want to make, where you want to spend your time? And so I think having those answers and understanding what is critical there really helps you take better advantage of automation, productivity, etc. Once you have those things clearly defined, then you can start to say, these buckets of things, I'm simply not going to do. I'm simply not going to participate in them. It's far easier to just have a rule where you say no to those things, and it keeps a whole chunk of to-dos off your to-do list. And once you do that, then you can say, okay, with what's left, these important things that are I am going to spend time on, then I can start to set up systems. I can set up tools to better automate things that get certain grunt worky type things that are within the things that are important to me happening in an ongoing basis. I can set up productivity systems that make it easier for me to accomplish certain goals within those tools. And so it really allows you to set up a system that works and helps you achieve the things that are most important to you.
Definitely. All right. To round us out on those questions there, Aytekin, how do you think about automation and productivity?
I think it's a really exciting time for automation and productivity. And I think because of these three revolutions happening. And the first one is software is eating the world. This was coined by Mark Andreessen like a decade ago. And basically what he was saying was like everything is turning into software, from like cars to like vacuum cleaners. Like in the past, you would go to a travel agent and you will say, hey, I want to go to a warm place. But today you do everything yourself, which is kind of not that great because you have to spend a lot of time. But it also gives you so much freedom and flexibility. You can pick your own destination. You can find your own hotel. You can decide on what you're going to do, how you're going to spend your time. And you have much more options because like everything is software, and software is much more flexible than like hardware, and it gives you so much more options, and it allows you to do more things. The second revolution is the no-code revolution, and all the products here like Jotform, Zapier, and Doist, they're all like no-code products because you can use them to build your own solutions. And if you go to a website like g2.com, you can find like thousands of like these SaaS cloud products that allows you to build your own solutions. And they're flexible, they are customizable, they give you so many options. And this wasn't available like a decade ago. So this is new, and this is so great that it's kind of democratizing the world, because people like businesses can actually do things that they couldn't do before. Like they had to go to a programmer or developer, or hire a company to build something for them. But today, like they can use all these products, and they can use Zapier to like connect them to each other. So it's a great time to really be building solutions for your business. And the third one is even bigger, and that's the AI revolution. And AI is kind of like multiplying these two revolutions, because now all these solutions are more capable, more flexible, and more smart, because they can do many more things. I mean, we are not still there. I think we are just seeing what's available. I feel like we are just kind of like the times when we were like I'm kind of old, but like when the internet just came out, like in the first years of internet, there was just so many possibilities. People could see that, but there wasn't any like you didn't have the products. But AI is going to be like that. Everything is all the products will include AI, and they're going to be much more powerful. And these three revolutions are going to democratize software for everyone, and everyone will be able to build their own solutions. And I think this is a great time to be alive.
Yeah, certainly. I think the excitement around AI is definitely amongst this crowd here, which we will, be diving deeper into later on in this conversation. But, as I mentioned kind of before, we are here in celebration of Aytekin's new book release, Automate Your Busywork. But as we open up this conversation and focus, more so on automation and productivity. Aytekin, why don't you tell us just a little bit, about your book and why you decided to write it?
So I'm a product guy. I love building our product and growing our product. That's why I've been doing Jotform for 17 years and I didn't get tired of it. And how I started Jotform was because in my previous job, I was working for this media company in New York, and I was building these forms, and I really wanted to find a product that can automate it, but I couldn't find one, so I decided to build one myself. So once I launched Jotform, it was going well, but after a while, I was kind of too busy with doing everything. I think we had 4 or 5 employees at this point. And I was spending all my day on emails from morning to night. I was spending my time replying to customers and just answering emails. So our product development was kind of all over. It wasn't streamlined. So I was doing all kinds of things like accounting, HR, legal, ordering supplies for the office. So the busy work, I was a product guy that loved to work on the product, that loved to grow the product, but I was spending all my day with Busywork. And right at that moment, Google Forms came out, and I was okay, if I continue to do this, Google is gonna beat us. So I need to change something. And I looked at what we are doing for our customers. We were actually automating things for them. We were automating the creation of the forms, but forms are used as a way for them to automate many things in their business. We were automating emails, document generation, and all the business processes, creation of the reports, integrating with other products. So we were doing all those things. But in my own business, I wasn't doing that all. And I decided to change that. I started with my emails. I found ways to automate them, especially the processing of the emails, incoming emails, and HR, accounting, legal, pretty much many of the things that I was spending so much time on, I was able to automate them. And this actually helped me make Jotform successful. And today, Jotform is successful with 500 employees and 20 million users. And I think I owe that to the automation. And I want to share what I learned with the world. And I developed this framework that I call the automation flywheel. And I wanted to share that and provide lots of examples. And the book was the best way to do that. And that's why I wrote it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's so many automation tools out there, and your book really helps people kind of distill what automation tools they need in their daily workflow, and really helps them, make sense of all of that. Wade, I know we kind of jumped in and started talking immediately about automation and whatnot, but want to kind of take a step back and open up the floor there and kind of share with us more about Zapier, who uses it, and what problem are you guys trying to solve?
So Zapier is a leader in easy automation. Our mission is to make automation work for everybody. It started as just integrating apps, connect this to that, and it's grown into a full-on workflow system that connects over 5,000 different apps. If you submit a job form, it can route that to your CRM, to your email marketing tool. It can set up a to-do for you inside of something like Todoist. It really helps you take control of all the automation work that happens across any of the given tools that you might use. One of my favorite examples is this company, Halo Cars. They bring targeted marketing to LED smart screens on cabs. And Halo was founded by 3 college students. They built their entire operations on top of Airtable and Zapier. And this enabled their small team to scale a pretty complex referral system in a matter of days. 10 months after founding this company, they sold the business to Lyft. An incredible example of what a small team is able to accomplish when they lean into automation, when they lean into tools. And so for us, Zapier is really about trying to help these small teams achieve big things.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, it's very clear. We brought together the right experts here on automation, that's for sure. Amir, would love to open up the same question to you. For those who don't know, are listening in, what is Doist, and what are the problems that you guys are trying to solve?
Yeah, so our overall mission is kind of like to build the future of work. Something to note about us is also like we are really like challenging the status quo ways of working. So like we started to work fully remote in 2010. We started to work like asynchronous first, which means like we have very little meetings in 2014. And right now we're kind of like trying to just see like what lies ahead and how can we actually build this. The ambition is basically like building a much better way to work and live. Because honestly, I think like if you look at most of the current organizations, especially knowledge work, it's kind of very broken. Like people are not really doing great work. They're not really living great lives. And the sad part is like everybody's just ignoring this fact. So if you look at like how many hours people work, their productivity levels, and etc., it's not very positive. So we are really trying to kind of invent a new way, better way. And it's also super challenging because people don't really like to change. And I definitely think like automation is a core part of this, building smarter software that can kind of like just remove a lot of grunt work and, automating some of these processes. So for instance, like with Doist, one of the like most popular integrations is actually Zapier. So people are already, just like, using Zapier to kind of just like get tasks added from different platforms and then like managing them inside Doist. But I can imagine this can be like much more powerful as we go along.
Yeah, I think that conversation, future of work, is super important, and I'm glad you're touching on it here a little bit. And speaking of work and workflows, Amir, how do you deploy automation at work?
Personally, like I'm actually trying to have like as busy free days as possible. I really want to do like deep work, like thinking deep. I don't want to be like answering emails all day long or something like that. So I'm really like trying to automate stuff and actually move stuff as well. So like some stuff you don't need even to automate. You should just like remove them from your life, and just like optimizing my daily life, so it's kind of like super streamlined, and I can kind of focus on the most critical parts, and also like parts I like to do, I'm good at. This said, it's a bit challenging though, at times.
Yeah, there's certainly I think a lot of us listening here and can relate to, just wanting to get rid of, full tasks from our to-do list for sure. Wade, I'd love to, ask you the same question. How do you deploy automation at work?
CEO of Zapier, there's a lot of things that sort of come across my desk in a given day. And so one of the most important tools I've set up is this idea of a universal inbox. So I have emails come in, I have Slack come in, I have notifications come from a whole host of different apps. And one of the most important things is figuring out how to route all that stuff to a central spot. And so I have a series of Zaps that help me do that. It lands all inside of Kodo that I share with my EA. And we've actually started to tinker with AI in some of these places where we use AI to summarize those tasks, make them a little more readable. We're starting to mess around with triaging them with AI, figuring out who is the right person to maybe go tackle it. That's maybe not me. I'm not always the subject matter expert. We're playing around with auto categorizing prioritization. This needs to be high on the list. This is maybe low on the list. So this is a big tool that sort of helps triage the most important things, because a lot of times stuff comes to me, but I'm not necessarily the right person to solve it. And a big part of my job is making sure it gets to the right person to solve it. And this then helps me have big chunks of time during my day where I can go heads down on the things that are most important.
Yeah, I think that's the name of the game here is, cutting out that busy work and being able to, use automation to allow you to, kind of focus on the bigger stuff, on the deep thinking, on the more creative thinking, on those things that are really going to, move the dial for your business and for your life, frankly. Aytekin, I'd love to also open up the question to you as well. Obviously the book focuses a lot on this topic, but for you personally, how do you deploy automation at work?
Yeah, I think for me, the biggest automation was kind of one of the simplest ones. It was how I solved the emails for myself, because I receive hundreds of emails every day. And it's just, as the company has grown, the number of emails I receive only increased. And I need to keep it sane. As Wade mentioned, there is some important stuff happening. It's important that I don't miss out those stuff. I don't see an email that I should have seen it many days before, in late. So the solution I found for my emails was something that was simple, but it actually took me a while because I tried to find this product that can actually solve this for me, because the main problem was the prioritization. I wanted to prioritize emails. In an ideal world, the AI or whatever, it's just going to show me the top priority email first. Instead of the email inboxes just show you all the emails. You see the top priority email next to the spam email, right? It's just all mixed up. But in an ideal world, I will just see the top email first, and then I will see the second email first. And I looked for a product like this. I looked for products that has AI or not, but I couldn't find one. But then I thought, hey, I am using Gmail, and Gmail can do this. And I was able to implement this solution with only labels and filters. And it's a very simple solution. I created 3 labels, level 1, level 2, and level 3. Basically, level 1 is the top priority emails. For example, if our VP of HR sends me a direct email, that goes to my level 1. It's probably something important. If my publisher, Wiley, sends me an email, if I receive an email from wiley.com, it's going to also go to my top high priority email. So that's the level 1. The second one is level 2, which is the people who are with whom I communicate with. If I'm sending emails with people, if they send me a direct email, that's going to go to my level 2. And the level 3 is all the other email that I care about, the email threads where I'm part of, reports I receive, and newsletters and everything else. And I used filters to implement this system. And the great thing about it is that even if I'm on vacation, I could just go to my level 1, 10 minutes. For 10 minutes, I can just look at, if I have any important emails, I can process them. But the most important part is I never go to my email inbox. That's really important. I have these bookmarks in my browser, so I will go to level 1 first. I will process that. I will clean that up. And then I will go to level 2 and then level 3. And only once in a while, I'm going to go to my all the remaining emails to just review it and make sure that I didn't miss any important email. So I could create an additional filter to send it to other levels. And this is a very simple automation. It's just using labels and filters in Gmail. I want to give this example because it's just people think that automations are hard. You have to learn the technology. You have to become real experts. But in today's world, I think there's just so many great no-code SaaS cloud products that have so many options, flexible options that you can actually use them to build your own solutions, and you can save time and energy as a result. So, yeah, this is how automation helps me.
Yeah, I think a lot of us struggle with that email inbox for sure. So I think that's really relatable to a lot of us. Switching gears, I know we've kind of talked a little bit about AI here and there, but really want to kind of dive headfirst into that right now. Obviously, it's in the headlines right now, and they're always changing. But Amir, want to kick it off with you here and talk about, I know you've said that AI is going to change everything. I think a lot of people here would agree with you on that. But talk to me a little bit more about that. Why do you see AI changing everything? And, what are you expecting for the next, 5-10 years?
Yeah, I mean, that's a good question. And, something I think that is very interesting about AI is kind of like that both like the software front and the hardware front is kind of growing exponentially. So if you look at like curves of like, size of like these models, it's like exponential curve. If you look at like GPU performance, it's exponential curve, and it's been like ongoing for many years now. And whenever you have like exponential growth and you have like so like fast advancements, then I think you can be very excited and very worried as well. So I definitely understand like the worry here. Personally, I'm not really worried because I know a bit about how this model works, and it's basically like it's linear algebra, like right now. But also our own brains, like we start very simple, from a very simple like cell, and then it basically grows to us like sentient beings. So I don't know like what the future holds, but like right now it's kind of like growing very fast, advancing very fast. And honestly, like even right now, like GPT-4 is very, very impressive. So like yesterday I actually did like there's a new feature of ChatGPT that codes code interpreter, where you can basically get like GPT to like solve problems for you. So you upload a file. So for instance, like I did like I upload like CSV file. I made it like use code to transform the CSV file. It basically runs it into like in a Python environment and transforms the file. But you can also like analyze it. You can kind of like do like a linear like regression analysis of the data, and it all does it for you. So and when I did this, like it's the first time I have actually played around with this part of GPT. It's kind of like it's really incredible. Like and it like it's I could actually do this myself, but like it would take me like 5 hours to do it. Maybe not that much. And here you just like you upload it, you tell it what to do, and then in 10 seconds you actually have the result. And it's just like mind blowing, yeah. And I think this is just the start. So I'm very excited to see where this goes. And I also think like it's very hard to kind of see where the future lies, because when you're dealing with exponential curves, I mean, you can see this like with mobile phones. Like nobody expected in the 80s that you would actually be like we will have like supercomputers in our pockets and all be hyper connected, access to like all of humanity's knowledge. So I'm actually not sure where this goes, but I'm super excited, also a bit scared, but it's very exciting times to be at this. And I think also like I hope actually we can do this for use this for good, use this to kind of improve humanity, because we have like so many problems that we need to solve. And maybe, we will work less, and that's good. Like we will have a lot more stuff and things will improve like on an exponential scale. So that's like maybe the positive scenario with AI, at least how I see it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think, using tech for good is a kind of a thread that kind of winds through Silicon Valley and beyond. Wade, I know we're obviously diving into AI here, and know that you and the team are very excited as well about it. I know you guys just launched Zapier's ChatGPT plugin, and there's been a lot of excitement around that as well. How does AI at Zapier look moving forward? How are you thinking about all of that?
We're super excited about AI at Zapier. Obviously, you mentioned the ChatGPT plugin. This helps people, send off actions right inside of ChatGPT. But we're seeing all sorts of ways already that our customers are using AI inside of Zapier. And one of the things that I think AI is particularly great at is helping automate unstructured data. Automation is a lot easier when you have structured data, but unstructured data, where most of the world's information lies, is a lot harder. We have to do a lot of human cleansing of that data. But it turns out these LLMs are really good at summarizing unstructured data. It's good at generating data. It's good at manipulating this data into formats that we really prefer. And so being able to, interject unstructured data with structured data inside of an automation is really, really quite something else. So we're starting to see people play with this. Obviously, we have the natural language API that powers our ChatGPT plugin. We have a chatbots inside of an interfaces product. And so all these things are places where we're starting to utilize AI inside of the core product and seeing customers already adopt this stuff in ways that are improving their work. And as we look further out into the future, I think the thing we get most excited about is that, we fundamentally just believe that computers should do more work for humans. And there is a huge amount of demand for software. There's more software that has gone unwritten than actually has gone written. There's more automation that needs to be done that can be done. And one of the challenges is that oftentimes the only way to get this written is to go buy software off the shelf that a company can afford to build, that has to hire all these expensive engineers. But I think with natural language and the ability to speak automation, to speak software into existence through natural language, means that we're going to have just an explosion of new software and much more personalized software that works for me. And that way, I don't have to settle for just the very cookie cutter things that sort of come off the shelf, but I can actually get software that works the way I want it to work, the way that it's designed. It's matches my life, my workflows, the things that I care about. And so that idea is really exciting to me, to have software that truly is, the thing that's going to solve problems that I have in my life, and it doesn't have to be watered down to fit what a broader market maybe cares about.
Yeah, that's super exciting. I love how you talk about that personalization and utilizing it for software. Aytekin, obviously your book really focuses on automation, but how do you see AI fitting into how you talk about automation?
AI is also automation, but it's more smart, capable, flexible. So it's actually, it's like AI is automation or with powers. So it's much more powerful, and it's much more flexible. So, and this allows people to kind of build their own solutions. So as Wade talked about that, right now, like it's the current tools are more rule-based, but as the AI advances and more products have AI in them, they are going to be much more flexible, and people are going to be able to fit them into their own businesses. And this is really going to be like democratizing the software for people. So I really agree about that with Wade. And in my book, I talk about the automation principles and the automation flywheel framework. And I also give lots of examples and case studies to make this to make it easier for people to really apply the knowledge. In 10 years, all the examples and case studies I give is not going to be very useful, because AI is going to just change everything. Like all the products will change. Everything is going to change in 10 years. But the principles, the automation first mindset, the automation flywheel framework that I describe in the book, that's not going to change. That's actually going to be more powerful, because the number of tools you have today is going to be explode in 10 years, because it's going to be much more easier to build products, and more people will actually use AI to build products. And so as I said, like this is like the beginning of internet. Like AI is gonna just give us so many options that it's hard to see what's gonna happen. As Amir said, it's kind of a little bit scary, but I think this solution is not to just stop technology. It never works. I think it's important to use it for good, and it's important to for product guys like us to also build AI in our products and make it accessible to more people and use it for good. That's what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, certainly. I think and Wade kind of touched on this too, is that we will see a whole lot more software being built as we continue going down this AI road. We're already, we already have a ton of automation AI tools, but that is just going to, we've only just, kind of gotten to the beginning of that. But as we, kind of wrap up and bring this, conversation more to a close, let's bring it back to automation and answer the key question. Here is, what is the future of automation? Wade, we'll kick it off to you to start.
I really do feel like the future of automation is about that personalization, the ability for software to solve problems that are very specific to me and to not be constrained by what the world sort of looks like, but to be able to use AI, to be able to use software, to be able to create things without having to know how to code, without having to learn technical concepts, but to be able to generate this stuff in natural language. And I think that's really where the power of automation lies in the future.
Yeah. All right. That's great. Amir, same question. What does the future of automation look like for you?
I would love to see us kind of remove grunt work and, just do the work that excites you, that brings you joy, that you're good at, that you love to do, instead of doing a lot of stuff that we're doing right now that nobody really enjoys. So that's also why I don't think, automation or AI would actually replace humans. I think actually it will just make people more efficient and maybe focusing more on the stuff they are really good at, or the human touch. Maybe that's something that could come into play. So yeah, I hope, in 10 years that you don't need to do any of the grunt work. I mean, even right now, if you see some popular applications such as Gmail, it does very little for you to actually help you in any smart way. And that's kind of very depressing. And it's over 1 billion people or maybe even more that use that product. So, we have a long way to go here of removing all of this grunt work from people.
Mm-hmm, certainly. Aytekin, let's throw it over to you. What does the future of automation look like for you?
I mentioned the 3 revolutions, how software is eating the world, how all these no-code SaaS cloud products are providing all these solutions for businesses, and the AI revolution. And the future of automation is just the expansion of that, but it's just gonna double. I can't say how many years, I don't have a theory like that, but it's just going to keep doubling. The number of products, the number of options we have are going to double. And so I think what Amir has been saying is that to get rid of grunt work, to get rid of busy work is going to be possible because there's going to be so many options for us, and more people will use them. But also, I also think that the future of automation is AI, because the products will contain more and more AI in them, and this will make them much better. And this is going to be much more useful for people. This is going to make them much more useful for people. So I think it's just it's going to be great. It's going to give we are going to have so many options, and everyone will be able to build in their own solutions. And I think that's a great feature, because it's just many people are thinking that, hey, automation, AI, people are going to be jobless. I don't think that's going to happen. I think more and more people will be doing more creative stuff, more exciting stuff, and because they will have like so many more tools to do that. And I feel like it's really important that education is going to be important, because people need to be able to use all these tools. But the tools are also kind of bringing down to people's level, like without education, they are going to become much more simpler and easier to use. So I'm actually, very positive, and I see a bright future for the automation and AI.
Yeah, that's great. I think, a lot of us are nervous, but I think at the same time, very excited for what AI and automation will bring us in the future. Well, on that note, to our founders, anything else that you'd like to add that you want to make sure that our viewers hear?
I hope also like people will take this to heart and start automating all the stuff that needs to be automated away.
The two questions I ask in the book, and I think that's really important. And the two questions are, the first one is like, people should ask themselves, what should I spend my time on? And the second question is, what shouldn't I spend my time on? And the second question is more important, because if you can find out like how you are wasting your time, how you are spending your time on tasks that take up your time and energy, you can actually, find ways to delegate them to automations, to the machine, and that's what I describe in the book. The framework, the automation flywheel framework, is like describing how you can turn them into automations. But even if you don't apply, even if you don't buy the book or apply any of the principles, if you ask yourself those questions, I think you're going to be able to prioritize how you spend your time better. And I hope that that's going to be useful for everyone. Yeah, that's all from me.
Yeah, I think, Amir, I saw your little one back behind you. I think that perfectly nails on the head what we're talking about here is talking about where we spend our time, who we spend our time with, et cetera. So, perfect way to go off on that note. With that, we at Jotform want to extend a very big thank you to our founders for joining us today. Aytekin, Amir, and Wade, thank you so much for joining us. It was really great to hear more about your journeys, about how you're thinking about automation and especially AI. We also want to thank everyone who helped out on the production of this podcast. You are amazing. And thank you to our listeners. We hope this was a really valuable conversation for you around automation, productivity, AI. And we hope that you're walking away with a few tips that you can use right now to cut out repetitive tasks and do less, achieve more, and save your brain for the big stuff. Thank you so much for joining us. Bye, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.